To reflect on the loss of somebody who you love after a farming accident is something that we've had to do in our family. But at the same time, I want to talk about farm safety in the light of the Country Women's Association, particularly its branches in Victoria. We're highlighting this over the weekend on Mother's Day, calling for a farm safety mindset and families who continue to bear the burden of deaths and injuries through agriculture. As CWA Victoria State President last week, Marion Dewar, she said that families on farms bear the impact of deaths and also injuries. Usually the women and children are bearing that impact because most of the deaths are the men on the farm. 95% of the deaths are actually with on-farm deaths are with the men, but it does happen to women, as our family is acutely aware of. 70% of those that are injured are men, so there's still quite a number of injuries to women and children, which is really concerning in itself. And when you hear Marion Dewar and her discussion about how a Victorian dairy farmer was killed in a tractor rollover some years ago and how CWA members in that region were able to step in and help that farmer's wife with their in-laws and the young family to continue daily operations. The tragedy never leaves us, but the reminders are there that we can move towards a safer farm. WorkSafe Executive Director of Health and Safety is Julie Nielsen. She said that farm workplace presents increased pressure on families compared to other industries, and it is something where we need to be aware of safety issues all around us. Now, there has been a range of safety measures through agri-tech that have been implemented, and in the UK, the Cambridge Network is brought an article about some of these technologies, and I was interested to read that agri-tech e-director is Dr. Belinda Clark. She said one of the consequences of COVID-19 was that more people are using digital technologies for a greater range of applications and on-farm decision-making. And from the organisation Farm 365, that they have got a program improving farm safety with innovative agri-tech, and that they've launched a machinery safety and audit app that's triggered by scanning a QR code located on the equipment, and Safe Ag Systems also as a preview of a free interactive risk assessment tool that enables compliance with the ISO standards in the UK. But interestingly enough, AgSafe Systems is the project of a South Australian lady, Katie Lant. Now, her and her mother-in-law were given a grant back in 2017, and they are off the York Peninsula, and they've developed a safety ag system where they can basically capture what's happening around the farm. In particular, they keep records, things like fatigue, and where people are working alone in remote areas, that they can take statistics of that, and this can assist in eliminating what the risks may be and reducing those risks with record keeping and this safety ag system act. So ag system app. So there are a range of technologies that have been looked at a wider level, not just here in Australia but in the UK. And then when one goes to America, in Missouri, they're actually looking at the mental health crisis amongst farmers. Missouri is one of the big grain producing states in the north of the United States near the Canadian border, and they're having the range of issues that are occurring on farm. And according to the University of Missouri, their extension program, 1 in 5 people experience mental illness on the farm, and economic uncertainties and changing commodity prices, ongoing weather issues and daily stresses are prevalent in research studies conducted by Karen Fulkenbusch, who is the Missouri University Extension Health and Safety Specialist. They're also looking at a range of ways in which they can manage and help where farms in particular are seeing an increased rate of suicide amongst farmers and farming stresses. Fewer health services are seemingly to be available in our regional areas nearby where farms are, and then tackling mental health stigma. So there's some of the issues on farm safety that over Mother's Day may have been discussion points, and there's also other service providers out there like Lifeline on 131114 if you're indeed in any particular stressful circumstance with your farm.